if you look at this chart here, if you can pull it up, Eric, so the audience can see it, this kind of shows you employee donations to midterms, candidates by party. Okay, blue being Democrat, red being Republican. Look at Netflix. 99.6% of the donations was to the Democratic Party. Only 0.4% was to the Republican Party. Obviously, they're not biased at all. At Twitter, it was 98.7%. At Airbnb is 98%. Apple 97.5%. Stripe 97%. Lyft 96%. Google Alphabet 96%. Salesforce 95%. Facebook 95%. Tesla 94%. eBay 93%. PayPal 92%. Microsoft 92%. Amazon 89%. Uber 81%. Hewlett-Packard 80, Intel 78. Look at Oracle, Tom, at the bottom with, Larry Ellison. He's like, look, man.
Fourth or fifth richest man. He was on the billionaire list a minute ago. Yeah, we had on the donors.
66% here, 33.9. I think a big part of this, the reason why I'm showing this is because if you are trying to use social media and you're telling me there is no bias at the people that are working at some of these companies.
It's a lie.
And you got 99% that are only going one side. I feel bad for the 0.4% Republican that works at Netflix. Think about how they view that person. It's kind of like, look, can we get like 5 Republican employees here just to kind of even things out so they don't say we're fully Democrat, just so we can always use those 3 guys or 5 guys? But what do you think about when you see numbers like this, Tom?
Well, I look at where most of these were headquartered.
Silicon Valley.
And, Microsoft up there in Washington, the land of the Birkenstock. So I think you've got that, and you also have an emerging generation that's part of this. And I think there's a lot of leadership that thinks you have to be on the right side of history, because I don't believe these donations necessarily reflect the true playing field that's out there. I don't think it represents their customer sets. And it's also very, very interesting. A lot of these companies, and there's a couple of them in there, they have policies about what you don't talk to your customer about. Mm-hmm. So we may be giving it this way, but when we talk to our customers, I know it's this way at Salesforce.com, it's like our customers are going to be from both sides of the aisle. Our customers are going to have all kinds of viewpoints, and we can't bring our personal political views and offend our customers, because if you look at the statistics, according to the election, it's 48.5% of the United States is on the other side. Mm-hmm. So not one of these folks is going to want to give up 48.5% of their customers. So how they are in their hearts and in their personal views is not how they necessarily behave in front of their customers. Although there's companies like Apple that are, definitely way out there and very open and progressive publicly.
Adam, what do you think about when you see this?
No, I think this is actually a very, very powerful stat right here, because these companies, down the list, these are the companies running America, running the world for that matter, okay? And, when you talk about cancel culture, here's a reason why. These are all the platforms, like when we sat down with Andrew Tate, not only did he get banned from Twitter and YouTube and Facebook and Meta and Instagram and Discord, then it happened to be PayPal and Stripe. Next it was Uber and Lyft. And I kind of joked, do you think that all these Silicon Valley guys are on a text message together? Just kind of like how we're on a text message with buddies? And the answer is yeah.
Of course.
There's a groupthink mentality. The problem is, these are the people running America, but this is not representative of what America is. Let's use an example of Jimmy Kimmel the other day. Like, Jimmy Kimmel has lost half his audience.
Yep.
Because he's completely done. And by the way, the same thing for Colbert, to a lesser extent Fallon. What's the other guy? Seth Meyers. Mm-hmm. They've doubled down on their hate for Trump.
Not at Kimmel level, though. Colbert and Kimmel, I think, are at the same level. I think Fallon is like,
a little less political. But that's my point.
Yeah.
Is that just because you have a certain ideology or a certain business model doesn't mean you should alienate the other half of America, right? So I think it's a poor business model, but it is a telltale sign of why certain people get canceled, right? Or why certain types of content gets a strike, because look at the people running these companies. There's a very powerful message here.
Well, you said it one time, Pat. Remember when you talked about who was the most The most most powerful is the government, the president, social media, and business. I think
Universities.
Universities. You talked about
seven
this.
pillars.
And mainstream media.
And mainstream
Correct.
media, and I think that this is showing a lot. Going back to that point when you talked about that.
But
By the way,
virtual
can you
governments.
pull up the concept of capitalism versus corporatism? Pull up the difference between capitalism versus corporatism. Just put difference between capitalism and corporatism, and then zoom in. Okay, if you zoom in here, if you zoom in right there for the definition so we can see it, capitalism is an economic system that recognizes individual rights, while corporatism is a political and economic system that seeks social justice and equality among individuals, right? So when you look at the model of how much money they're putting into the left or the right, and you're seeing the amount of power that they have, you're seeing an example of corporatism here where here's Netflix that dictates what content your kids watch. They're putting 99.6% onto one side. Here's Facebook that's dictating how many people get your viewership. They're putting their money on one side. Not only that, Zuck is another, however much money he put into it. I think it's an interesting thing when you see that data. By the way, if there's another one of these companies that somebody from the right, like Elon Musk, can come out of nowhere and buy, who would that be? If there's a company that can be bought by somebody on the right at a discounted rate.
At this point, it's Facebook. Are you kidding me? How much money they've lost over the last 12 months?
Snap.
You thinking Snap? You thinking he brings Snap in to do like a TikTok thing?
No, if you're talking about something that's depressed, they're down 92%. Their stock price is down 92%, which means that the ability to buy them, the price is down 92%. I don't know that it's a very good platform, but that is a troubled, highly discounted social media platform that someone could pick up if they thought they could do better.
Yeah, but
It
to a
already
larger
has
extent,
hundreds of millions of users.
what about these other platforms that have shown up? The Rumbles of the world, the Parlors of the world.
Parlors, yeah.
What is it, Tumblr? What are these other things? Whether it's Truth Social, do these things have a place in mainstream media?
Not Parlor, because it's tied to Kanye. That thing is done for now. That's going to take a timeout for a minute. I think Rumble, for sure, they're not going away. Now they're getting bigger and bigger. They had a chance to put Rumble out of business a few years ago. They didn't do it. It's backfiring on them because Rumble is taking market share, and they're raising money left and right, and they're picking people up. Hey, come and create content with us. Russell Brand is now making content on Rumble. You're getting all these names that are now moving to Rumble.
And they're taking market share away from YouTube.
From, of course, YouTube. From a lot of different places, they're taking market share away.
Alphabet.
Yeah, Alphabet. And that's going to continue to happen. But I'm talking about who has the funds that when you look at these numbers, I'm talking about these big boys. Okay, these companies, these numbers that Netflix, Twitter. So Twitter's now Musk, Airbnb, Apple. And no one's going to buy Apple. Apple is at this point, it's a country of its own. Stripe, Lyft, Google, Salesforce, Facebook, these are influential companies, and who even has that kind of money to go buy some of these guys? It's going to be interesting because Twitter being bought by Elon Musk was probably one of the best things that happened, but will any of these other guys go for sale? I don't know. We're going to see what's going to happen here. To order your Future Looks Bright hat, click over here, and to watch the entire podcast, click here. Take care, everybody.